Hello guys, welcome to Adlit Lessons. We shall begin with the two specimens of diary entries written by Anne Frank. So, this is the first diary entry dated Monday, 22nd May 1944. So, we can begin. Dear Kitty, to our great horror and regret, we hear that the attitude of a great many people towards us Jews has changed. So, we have already seen in the previous video lesson that Kitty is a favorite character from one of the children's literature series that Anne actually confides in. It's her favorite character, somebody so passionate and close towards her, and she and her family living in ambush. Of course, she wants to give vent, she wants to express her feelings and her pains and agonies and all her apprehensions, confusions, fear, everything she's pouring out in this red and white checkbook, as we have already seen in the previous video lesson. So she is saying that Kitty, it's really horrifying, and I feel regretful that the attitude of great many people towards us Jews has changed. I don't know why this aversion and hostility towards us. And we hear that there is anti Semitism now in circles that never thought of it before. And this news has affected us all very, very deeply. So she's talking about anti Semitism. And what you mean by anti Semitism, we already discussed this. It's a hostility or it's a prejudice or discrimination against Jews. A person who holds such positions is called an anti Semite. So, anti Semitism is generally considered to be a form of racism. It's manifested in many ways, ranging from expression of hatred or discrimination against individual Jews to organized pogroms, means communal riots, gunshots, bombings, firings by mobs or police officers, even military attacks on entire Jewish communities. So all these things were included, or all these things are a part of anti-Semitism, prohibiting or curbing these people from being a part of the normal laity or common man. Okay, so this is what she shares her thoughts and her feelings and emotions with Kitty. The cause of this hatred of the Jews is understandable, even human sometimes, but not good. Okay, I understand, I comprehend why so much of hostility towards Jews. The Christians blame the Jews for giving secrets away to the Germans. So it's a classic old hostility and aversion towards Jews, of how betrayal of the old classic, the age old betrayal and deceiving of Jesus Christ by his one of his most trusted, trustworthy, and beloved disciples. So that, of course, may be the reason or a cause, but it's a long lost cause. The Christians blame the Jews for giving. So from that day, from that point of time, Jews, they were embodiments of deception and hard-heartedness, spy work, cheating, and giving away or breaking promises and trust. So here, right now, in this situation of the Holocaust, it seems that the Christians, they were blaming and they were finding out reasons to find fault with the Jews for giving secrets away to the Germans, for betraying their help. So what actually is the Holocaust for? In order to wipe out the Jewish people, or the Jewish mob, or the Jewish generations, or the race, ethnicity. The race of Jews shouldn't be there. They wouldn't be left. They are not spared to live on this earth. So that is the main cause or motive behind the Holocaust. And of course, we have seen the concentration camps, and of course, you also definitely know a lot of reading related to the Holocaust and the concentration camps and what really happened there, the atrocities and brutalities that the Jews faced in concentration camps. So, for betraying their helpers and for the fact that through the Jews, a great many Christians have gone the way of so many others before them and suffered terrible punishments and a dreadful fate. So, this is what Anne writes. The Christians are finding fault or accusing Jews for cheating and helping the Germans, for betraying their helpers, and for the fact that it is through Jews, a great many Christians have gone the way of so many others before them. So, all these issues and complications and atrocities faced by them, Jews are really men who cheat and they help the Germans. So, Germans find, Hitler and the Nazis, they find so many reasons, and even the Christians, they find so many other reasons. Everyone all over the world, they are trying to find out fault with the Jews. This is what Anne feels so innocent, very passionate, friendly, loving girl. She feels that I don't know why people all over the world they hate. Why do policemen come for us Jews? We don't know. And they suffer terrible punishments and a dreadful fate. This is all true, but one must look at all these things from both sides. But Christians behave differently in our place. So you need to understand one thing that the Nazis and the Holocaust, the people who are behind the Holocaust, they were trying to find out Jews. And so many Christians also were suffering because of this. And there were some who betrayed. And because of that, this dreadful or atrocious fate befell. It befell all of them. Okay, so she is asking, would Christians behave differently in our place? For example, if somebody is helping out a Jew or a Christian, and then if they fall into the hands of the Germans, of the Gestapo, the secret German police, secret police force of Hitler, Adolf Hitler, the tyrant, the cruel tyrant, if the Christians were in the position of the Jews, would they behave differently? Okay, people, or if you are at gunpoint, if you are about to lose your life, of course you would give your own way, you would oblige, you will have to obey. The Germans have a means of making people talk, to get secrets, to deceive others, to cheat others, to dig into yourself and find out all the truths and secrets and all the private feelings and emotions and the personal things. They have their own way, maybe torturing, maybe killing, maybe brutally punishing. So these are the reasons. So sometimes some people give way. They can't tolerate this pain anymore, this oppression and suppression anymore. Can a person entirely at their mercy, whether Jew or Christian, always remain silent? Jew or Christian or anyone. If you feel hurt, if you are imposed, or if you are suffering a lot of pain, physical pain, you will oblige. That is for sure. That is for definite. Everyone knows that this is practically impossible. You cannot keep a secret too long when you're confronted or when you're facing death. That's what she says. If somebody points a gun at you and say that, just give out. Just tell. They want to get some secret from you, of course. You cannot tolerate, you can't withstand this torturing anymore. Everyone knows that this is practically impossible. Why then should people demand the impossible of the Jews? Christians cannot. Any other believers, any others from any culture or land, nobody can encounter, nobody can bear or tolerate this physical agony and physical torturing anymore. And why do you? It's quite unbelievable that how can you people expect this kind of tolerance from Jews alone on this planet? It is being murmured in underground circles that the German Jews who emigrated to Holland and who are now in Poland may not be allowed to return here. They once had the right of asylum in Holland, but when Hitler had gone, they will have to go back to Germany again. So you must remember one thing in mind, that Anne and her family, the Franks, They had left Germany and now they are seeking refuge in Holland. They are in Netherlands, of course, and this is the place where the secret annex is there. Okay, we can see the pictures of a secret annex, how it is today. So this is in Netherlands, and she's writing her diary from Amsterdam, of course. And then she is saying that, of course, if Hitler and the Nazi Party falls, if they are defeated, and then the Jews who had immigrated to Holland and who are now in Poland, maybe they may not be allowed to return here. This is some news that she received from the underground circles because the German Jews, they have emigrated to Holland. It's not easy for them to go back. So Anne and her family, they are hearts broken. See, every hour, every moment, she is expecting and she's hoping that one day this thing will be over and they'll get back to their own home. So, from the underground circles, all kind of news and all kinds of what tidbits, information. This hardens or this convinces that there is no returning. She won't be going back to her home, and this is even more desperate. So they once had the right of asylum. See, now they are refugees in Holland. They have come to Holland, they have come to Netherlands to seek refuge. They don't have any place to go. They don't have a fatherland. They don't have a homeland anymore. But when Hitler has gone, they will have to go back to Germany again. So this is her prospect of returning back to her home. But then she don't know. She's confused. It's a precarious future that they are gazing at. The people who are inside residing the secret annex. Two families are there. One is Anne and her family, and the other another family. So there are almost 10 people there in the secret annex, and they are expecting to go back, but then some information and some news from the underground circles, it shatters their hopes and dreams of getting back to Germany. When one hears this, one naturally wonders why we are carrying on with this long and difficult war. We always hear that we are fighting together for freedom, truth, and right. So, I don't know why people are fighting. Anne is talking to Kitty. It's conversational. It's a conversational, interactive kind of writing that she makes. And mind you, she's writing in Dutch language, of course. And she's asking Kitty, I don't know why we are continuing with this difficult, long war. It has been ages since it has begun and it's continuing on and on. It's really hard. Life is really hard. It's colorless and shapeless. We hear that. I don't know. When I ask the elders, they say that we are fighting for truth, we are fighting for freedom, and we are fighting for some right cause. What kind of freedom? What truth are they fighting for? And is this really right? Is discord going to show itself when we are still fighting? Is the Jew once again worthless than another? So, this is a rhetorical question by which she silences everyone, the whole world. She shatters or she makes us silent by these innocent questions. Discord, disagreement, fighting, anarchy, hostility, hatred, loveless situation. What are they fighting? Why do they fight and say that this kind of disagreement? Is it disagreement or is it hatred or killing that's going to bring truth and freedom and liberty to this land? Is the Jew once again worthless than another? She's isolating it, she's filtering it out, and she's asking, is the Jewish race once again worthless than another? Are we really worthier, or are we really worthless than another? Why do people look down upon us? She's asking it. Oh, it is sad, very sad, that once more for the umpteenth time, umpteenth means multiple times, so many times, quite number of times. It's the umpteenth time that the old truth is confirmed. What one Christian does is his own responsibility. What one Jew does is thrown back at all Christians, is thrown back at all Jews. So there is an age old truth. What one Christian does is his own responsibility. So, little Anne, though 14 years or 13 years, she has understood something, that she has made some sense out of it. When Christians does something, so she do know only about Jews and who are not Jews. She don't know all the religions in this world, of course. And then she says, when she says, she talks in terms of the Jew and the Gentile. It's always said like that. You're a Jew or you're a non-Jew. You're a Jew or a Gentile. Means you're a Christian. So she says that when a Christian does an act, it is his responsibility. But even if he does wrong, it's his responsibility. But when a Jew does a mistake, the whole race, the whole, what do you say, the whole community of Jews are held wrong. It's a responsibility of all Jews. That is, among Christians, when one or two does wrong, it's his responsibility. Maybe helplessness, he did so. Okay, there are other good Christians. But when a Jew commits a mistake or a crime, then the whole Jews in this world are really bad. So this is a very stark reality, a grim pointer that she tells us quite honestly. I cannot understand that the Dutch, who are such a good, honest, upright people, should judge us like this. We, the most oppressed, the unhappiest, perhaps the most pitiful of all peoples of the whole world. So, of course, honestly, she says, I don't know. The Dutch, the Hollands, the Netherlands, the Dutch people, they were really warm, they were really welcoming, they were really loving towards us. But I don't know, some sort of an aversion, some sort of hostility is being developed in these Dutch people too. Why do they show so much of hatred towards us? We are an oppressed section or faction of the society, and we are the unhappiest. We are not even considered as normal human beings. We are considered as some sort of inhuman creatures. And why do they, the Dutch, who are well known for their hospitality, for their friendliness, for their compassionate humanitarian ethos, why do they even change hostile towards us? I hope one thing only, and that is this hatred of the Jews will be a passing thing, and that the Dutch will show what they are after all, and that they will never totter and lose their sense of rights. For anti Semitism is unjust. Anti-Semitism is not fair. So I hope, it's my strong belief, Kitty, you can just count the days and see this hatred, this kind of a hostility for no reason towards people like us, Jews, it will come to an end. Sure, there will be a better days. There will be even more better times for us. And the Dutch people who have now turned against us once they gave us shelter, they gave us food, they have taken care of us, they gave space for us in their country. But now, due to this widespread spreading like forest fire, this anti Semitism is being spread all over. It is proliferating, it is spreading like anything. One day, the Dutch people, they will realize that we aren't really bad as they think so. We aren't really wretched people that they believe so, or that the Nazi are trying to make others, the whole world, convinced that the Jews were really bad folks. So this would change. Things would really change. And if this terrible threat should actually come true, then the pitiful little collection of Jews that remain will have to leave Holland. So if this is a condition, if even the Dutch people they turn against us, then we won't have any place to go. So you can see a group of Jewish young men who are really finding security, who are trying to survive in Poland and Holland. So if this terrible threat should actually come true, so then the little collection of Jews who have already taken refuge in Holland, they will also have to leave. We too shall have to move on again with our little bundles and leave this beautiful country, which offered us such a warm welcome and which now turned its back on us. Anti Semitic laws are being strictly and austerely every day, day by day, month by month, year by year, it is spreading. And Hitler and the Nazi and the Gestapo are trying to caught a hold of all these Jewish people like anything, and they really want to kill them and finish them off from this world. So they are trying by all means to do this. So if this anti-Semitic feeling and emotion is so, it's getting more and more widespread, if it's reaching its peak, then no way for us people. We are helpless and oppressed and we are pitiful. We have to take our little sacks and bundles of all our little things and then we have to leave this beautiful country, which was once really friendly, loving, and warm and welcoming towards us. But now it too has become more and more hateful and hostile, and this country has started to despise us if the conditions prevail this way. I love, I really love Holland. I, who having no native country, had hoped it might become my fatherland, and I still hope it will. So the life of the Jews or have become stereotyped here. You can see how lot many Jews are coming by train and by vehicles, how they are being transported like goods, not like human beings. And this is really, what do you say, agonizing and merciless visuals and pictures that we come across. So the Dutch, they may get back. So she's wishing the Dutch people of Netherlands, people of Holland, sometimes they may get back their sense of righteousness. Sometimes they may realize, oh, they were doing sin. They were also torturing the Jews. No, they shouldn't do this. And they will come back to their real senses and they would love us and they will take care of us and they will welcome us like anything as they have done before these laws and before all these rules and regulations have been enforced so strictly, and they would realize that no, they shouldn't show these or they shouldn't send these people back and they shouldn't make them homeless and landless. So she really loves Holland and she says that I don't have native country. So this is a real, see, you can see the places here, the hideouts, bunkers, attics and basements where these Jewish people, the Jews, they try to hide, because they couldn't let anyone else where they were going and they wouldn't come out. They had to spend there. Sometimes they starve when they don't get food and water and they can't even breathe properly. So if a Jew had, see, there are Jews everywhere, and if ever you have close acquaintances and connections outside Germany, like places like Netherlands, Holland, Poland, etc., etc., you may try to hide there. But then sometimes when the police, when the Gestapo and the Nazi regimes, the Nazi police force, when they get hold of you, maybe you'll have to give way. Maybe you'll have to speak out the truth. You can't simply hold on and tolerate this torture. So in that case, maybe these Jews are found again. So these are the hideouts and these are the places where the Jews, they try to hide and keep themselves secure, safe and sheltered. You can see all these places where they try to hide simply to survive, simply to keep themselves alive. So this is what she says. I love Holland. So she wish that Holland be her fatherland because they don't have native country. And she anticipates honestly that Holland would never tell them to go back. Holland would never leave them and be cruel to them. Now we shall move on to the next diary entry, which is a very small one, dated 25 May, Thursday, 1944. Again, she says, Dear Kitty, there is something fresh every day. Now this is the a visual of the secret annex kitchen where Anne Frank and her family they lived for 2 years. Okay, from 42 to 44. There is something fresh every day, fresh news, fresh happenings, new incidents. Not so good. This morning, our vegetable man was picked up for having two Jews in his house. So it's Holland's, it's Netherlands, and Amsterdam. Of course, she's hiding there. And Anne could see or Anne could hear that the vegetable man, the vegetable vendor, who kept two Jews in his house, who gave refuge, who gave shelter and support and food and water to two Jews. He was caught. He was caught. I don't know how these news and how these information are leaked, but then it was a great blow to us. Not only that those Jews are balancing on the edge of an abyss, but it's terrible for the man himself too. The Jews, the condition of the Jews, of course, it's really, really bad. He is balancing on, he's at risk. Okay, and of course, this man who gave shelter, security, and safety to these two Jews, he was also going to face a terrible, dreadful, fearful fate. The world has turned topsy turvy. Respectable people are being sent off to concentration camps, prisons, and lonely cells. You know the condition, of course, you can browse, you can Google up and find out the life inside concentration camps. It's really, really scareful. And the worthless dregs that remain govern young and old, rich and poor. So, and the little girl, she feels that really bad people are ruling and good people are sent to concentration camps. What kind of a divine law is taking place here? What kind of a, what do you say, universal law or natural law is taking place here? Good people are persecuted, oppressed, tortured, killed, murdered. Okay. And the really bad, worthless one, the outcasts, the worthless criminals, culprits, they are governing. They are the authority. One person walks into the trap through the black market, a second through helping the Jews or other people who have had to go underground. Anyone who isn't a member of the NSB doesn't know what may happen to him from one day to another. So you can see pictures of Anne's bedroom in the secret annex, the meager, very little comforts. So she's writing all these words, she's writing all these write-ups and diaries from this room, sitting there at this table. So from 1942 to 44, 8 people below 10, almost 10, 8 to 10 people, they all lived in the secret annex and they were completely dependent on 6 helpers, employees and friends of Anne's father. Otto Frank had a few helpers, his employees and his workers. They were really helping Anne and her family. They provided food, clothing, books, magazines, and newspapers. So this is a place where they were spending their 2 years. So this is NSB. Of course, it's a national socialist movement in Netherlands. It was a Dutch fascist, a later National Socialist political party. As a parliamentary party participating in the elections, the NSB had some success during 1930s and they remained the only legal party in Netherlands during most of the Second World War. So what is Anne saying? You have to be a member of the National Socialist movement in Netherlands. So Nazism or fascism, Hitler's regime and Hitler's rule actually developed national socialist movement in Amsterdam or in Netherlands. Holland also had a small Dutch fascist group which follows, which abides, which obliges the Gestapo and Hitler's rule or Hitler's comments. So if you want to be alive, if you want to be safe and secure, you will have to be a member of NSB. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what's going to happen to you, or you don't know what kind of a future, what kind of days and times are awaiting you. The man is a great loss to us too. The girls can't and are allowed to haul along our share of potatoes, so the only thing to do is to eat less. So she was talking about the conditions, the prevailing conditions within the secret index, their life, what kind of a routine they had to. You can see pictures of Anne's father before he died, okay, and his mother. Of course, you can see him posing before a great picture, wonderful, beautiful picture of Anne, his daughter. You just imagine the condition of this father when he comes back to the secret index, when he comes back to Netherlands, knowing that he has lost his family, his wife, and his kids, and all beloved ones. It's really heartbreaking. So the man is a great loss to us too. So that man, the vegetable man, he also got great blows. You know, he might have, he might have ended up in death and murder. We don't have much food there, so we don't have so much to lavish, so much of luxuries. So potatoes, they are the vegetables. They are only things available, and what we had to do was you have to cut down your meals. You have to eat less, very less. I will tell you how we shall do that. It's certainly not going to make things any pleasanter. Mummy says we shall cut out breakfast altogether, have porridge and bread for lunch, and for supper, fried potatoes, and possibly once or twice per week, vegetable or lettuce. Nothing more. We're going to be hungry, but anything is better than being discovered. So see, you can see an old picture and a new picture of the secret annex, the house, the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, Netherlands. And you can see the upstairs, the attic place where she and her family were hiding. And now she's talking about the food they were eating. They didn't have much food. Mother told them that, of course, she maintains everything and manages it well. Mother tells that don't eat much. We needn't eat breakfast. It's better to have a brunch of porridge and bread together. So you needn't eat breakfast and you needn't stick on to lunch. In between, you'll have something to eat. And for supper, so they have cut down their meals to twice a day. They used to feed on food twice a day. And once or twice in a week, they'll have some vegetables, some salads or lettuces. Nothing more than that. So then she realized that she's going to be hungry. Everyone was going to be hungry and things are getting worse. And so, but then even then, they are clinging on to the current situation and they are struggling hard to survive because anything is better than being discovered. So falling into the hands of Gestapo, falling into the hands of the Nazi secret police. It's better to starve, go hungry and die there rather than being discovered by them. So you just we have to share the anguish and agony of this little girl. She knows what kind of a future, what dreadful things are going to she's going to face if she falls into the hands of this police. And there she ends the second diary entry, yours lovingly, Anne. So you can see the picture here of Anne Frank house, of course. Um, you have more pictures here. Yes, this is a wonderful picture of the Anne Frank house. This is a biographical museum. Of course, it's dedicated to this wartime diarist Anne Frank, and the building is located on a canal. It's called the Prinsengracht. It's close to the Westerkerk in central Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and it's one of the great museums often visited by people. Of course, it is the third most visited museum in the Netherlands. They have so many historically important places there in Netherlands, which reflects memories and nostalgia about these war times, the Second World War, especially the Holocaust. And this actually was established 10 years later. The Anne Frank Foundation was established to protect this property from developers who wanted to demolish the blocks. So many people, so many committees and organizations have come forward to demolish this building, but Anne Frank Foundation, they actually came forward to preserve and protect this property, so that we are fortunate enough at least to see this place in this way, as even as an image, of course. So this is the last, I think this is actually Anne's last photograph, which was taken when she was just trying to look out from the window of this same place that we have seen a couple of minutes back, where she was trying to witness a marriage, a wedding, where the bride and the groom were stepping out of this house, and they were crossing the roads to get into their cars. So this is the last time Anne was photographed alive. Then nobody saw her after this. So this is actually the result, the disillusionment, the catastrophe, and all kinds of what do you say, the deadly situations and the fatal results and consequences of Second World War. And of course, the whole world is still gripped with fear of what kind of global wars and global violences are awaiting us. We don't know. The whole world is heading towards such things. So it's high time we should, every generation and every age has to think why such wars are being waged and conducted, and what do we gain out of it. And here you have a wonderful quote by Albert Einstein. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. That means it's a decline, the disintegration of humanity, and the intellectual and scientific powers and faculties of human beings are being used for such fatal deadly weapons and wars to be waged and fought on this world. And what do we gain out of this? The result of the war is always futility and failure. Ultimately, human beings, they don't gain anything from such wars. So all these things we are supposed to think and recollect, and we have to contemplate on all these things. And through these diary entries, we have seen the persecution of Jews in Nazi Germany, and we have seen the atrocities committed by the Jews of the Nazi totalitarian regime upon the Jews. And even now, we can see the follow-up actions of such massive killings, genocides, and massive killings of people and the whole world fighting in Beijing because of racism and casteism. So all these things are the global threats, just like the pandemics. So here we end with this lesson. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching and listening. See you in the next video lesson.